I've definitely said that the studio is just like for queer, feral weirdos. So is that what you mean?
Yeah, you're like, so like to fit in the theme of like,
Respectfully, I love you all so much.
of like adopting what in a lot of ways like would not be super popular in that sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, having an art space, I think that artists aren't like normies, you know? Generally speaking.
Everyone at my studio too has anxiety and is socially awkward, and yeah, I feel like that's why we all get along so well.
And we're all just comfortable with each other because everybody's fighting the same battles and experiences, and yeah.
They've got you boxed in. Old habit, you draw the curtain. Lonely only if they ever leave. Do you feel free?
Hi, my name is Michael Zarick, and this is Third Space Indy. In 1989, a man wrote a book, and that man was named Ray Oldenburg. He wrote a book called The Great Good Place. In this book, he described 3 places. 1 is your home, 2 is your work, and the third place, anywhere you go outside of those other 2 places where you build community, is the thing he described in the book. And so I've made it my mission to talk to people who are creating third spaces of their own here in Indianapolis. And today, I'm sitting with 2 very thoughtful artistic creators who are named, I have your names. I don't know why I felt the need to write it. I know your names. Alexa Adamson, who's the owner of Alley Cat Ceramics and the building we're sitting in, Patina Art Gallery. Is that what you call it?
Patina Art Gallery, yeah.
Dang, I'm good.
Wow.
And Alyssa Ream, the owner of Groovy Greenhouse
Studio.
Studio, an important name?
Yeah.
Important, okay.
I changed it at one
I specifically did not write down the studio because I was like, I don't know if she actually refers to it as that. First of all, hello, how are you doing?
Howdy, great. Happy to be here in my space.
So the first question I have, and you can both answer this. Actually, no, that's stupid. Tell me about yourselves. Alexa, you go first.
Okay.
Whatever you want to say, whatever's on your mind or your heart, whatever you feel is appropriate to share at this moment.
I'm Alexa, I'm an Aquarius. And yeah, I own Alley Cat Ceramics. I've been doing ceramics for 12, 13 years. Graduated from Heron School of Art and Design at IU Indy now. And yeah, ceramics is my life. I don't really do much else besides that, so.
Listen, when I've told you this, when I text you in the middle of the day, you always immediately respond, so I'm not sure if ceramics.
That's fair. I'm online.
Alyssa, give me like a little rundown of who you are.
So I own Groovy Greenhouse Studio. I started doing stained glass about 4.5 years ago.
It's only been 4 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It feels like I've been doing it my entire life, but then also like 3 months at the same time. If that makes sense.
Was it a COVID project turned business?
No, it was actually after COVID.
Oh yeah?
The apartment I lived in during COVID was way too small to take up anything like that. I just played a lot of video games during COVID, nothing productive. Everyone's like, I started my business in COVID. That was not me. I did it after COVID. But yeah, like Alexa, stained glass is basically my entire life now, running the business.
I think when you run a business,
cats.
it becomes your entire life.
Yeah.
Also, if you're watching the video, or if you're not, go watch the video. Because behind us, you can actually see the beautiful Patina Art Gallery sign that Alyssa made. There's photos of it all over I actually looked up your Indie Star article, and it was very, like, it was like in the middle of you making it. There was a photo of you.
Yeah.
So the first question I have for you both is, because it took us like half an hour to get started recording this for multiple reasons, but primarily, as you warned me, there was a lot of giggling. What is it like to, 1, own your own business, but 2, own your own business next to somebody, I don't know if you consider each other best friends, but certainly within the realm of best friends?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I'll start by answering like what it is to own a small business. I don't have to wake up until until I want to. I usually wake up early, but like the restrictions and all of the normal things that come along with a 9 to 5 are not there. At the same time, being your own boss is terrifying. So you do have to have a lot of discipline. And that's something that I'm still learning, very much so. And then, yeah, being next to one of my best friends is pretty cool because lacking discipline, we can just go and have coffee whenever we want. We walk down
We
to...
take a lot of breaks to
Yeah.
get sweet treats.
How often does Alexa like come look through your little peephole window?
Once a day,
last night.
yeah.
He's like, are you in there?
But she's so quiet when she knocks that I normally don't hear her, and then I caught her on the camera. That's how I found out that she was there last night.
I was trying to tell her about a
I
cat.
feel like stained glass is like way louder than I think it is because you got like a saw and
Yeah,
stuff.
the grinder. I was on the grinder when you stopped by last night.
Got it,
so
yeah.
then I hear you.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say a lot, but I have a good amount of experience with ceramics. I've gone on record to say that my preferred Third Space is a ceramic studio, and I don't have a lot of experience with stained glass. So I'm interested to hear both of your perspectives on, I guess, what I'm going to say next, which is the reason I find ceramics so compelling is because from a community perspective and from a personal perspective, forcing yourself to sit down, you can't touch your phone because your hands are all gross from clay, at least when you're throwing on the wheel, with other people, especially in a class setting or like a learning setting, and having to focus so deeply on what you're doing when we have literal like dopamine machines in our hands at all time. And like sitting there and having this collaborative process of continued failure when you're learning is so beautiful, and also like a wonderful like communal effort. And also on the other hand, like through this idea of continued failure, like learning to just like let things go, while also like feeling and seeing with your own eyes like a continued improvement. That is why I think like ceramic studios are like beast.
I agree with you. From like stepping foot over next door, I've only taken one class next door, but that's more than Alexa's taken at my studio. So
Just gonna get up.
but I feel like stained glass is so different from ceramics in so many ways. Like you view ceramics as this, I don't know, it's soft and you can mold it, and glass is so rigid, but they're so similar in so many ways. So many things that you mentioned are why I started the studio next door. I feel like there's a huge cost barrier to entry with both, like buying all the supplies, and you can't just put a kiln in a tiny, like a studio apartment. And same thing with stained glass. You should not just be doing stained glass like in your dining room or like your bedroom. You really should have a designated space for it. A lot of people don't have that. When I started stained glass, we did have a spare bedroom. I worked out of there. It still wasn't ideal though, because I would find glass shards and my cats would distract me. And at the end of the day, I was sitting in a room by myself 8 hours a day, just like making stuff, which was fine for a while. But then I found myself like craving community. So now we have the studio where people can just come in and use the space, and I feel like all of our members are friends now, which is cool because like no one knew each other before they started coming to the studio. I don't have to work by myself all day and with only my cats to talk to. It's just so nice to have like someone there to bounce ideas off of. Same thing with like your hands being dirty in clay. You're normally gloved up either on the grinder or soldering, and you're working with chemicals. You cannot be on your phone. So yeah, it forces you to put your phone down for a while.
Yeah.
I kind of just like ignore my phone when I'm working, and people, yeah.
They think
like,
you disappeared.
I'm not good at responding. Yeah.
It's probably good though.
Yeah.
Well, from the idea of like what Alexa said about like having discipline in regard to like running your business, it's probably good that you don't touch your phone in a lot of times.
But then when I do touch my phone, it's like a 1 to 2 hour like deep dive, and you have to like force yourself out of it. Yeah.
That makes sense. Any thoughts, Alexa?
No, I think she said it pretty well.
You're gonna take another class.
I know. Now I'm in the hot seat. Yeah.
You tried glass yet?
I haven't. No, I don't know why.
We're both too busy. Is honestly.
Yeah.
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 So the idea of like shared space. Alexa, you're the owner of Patina, but I also think of Alyssa as like, at least in my head, like partially an owner in that you're shaking your head.
Much.
But you are here.
Partially an owner, but we do collaborate a lot.
But you're here emotionally and physically
All the time.
as an investor.
Yeah.
So I think you should not discount that effort that you give.
I think you're pretty emotionally invested in it.
Oh, I definitely am. Not financially. Like, I mean, I'll donate money and buy stuff from art shows, but I'm not paying the rent on this space.
Yeah. Before we delve into that, Alexa, can you tell me about Patina? Because I said Patina a lot, but I've not actually said what it is.
Yeah.
Other than just an art gallery.
I guess I did also forget to mention that. Yeah, so Patina is an art gallery that I started in April of this year. And yeah, I love hosting. I love putting together events. And when the space became available, it's like right next door to Alley Cat. And I told my landlord, like, I want this space and I want it to be a gallery. I don't want anybody else to move in next to me. So yeah, it's just kind of become a community space, an art gallery. We do workshops. There are 2 studios in the back of the studio or of the gallery, one of them being mine. And then, yeah, it's just been a dream being able to have like whatever I want to happen here. We've had like movie viewings out in the courtyard. We had a silly little Halloween party. Yeah, it's just been a really fun little space to invite people to in a way that we can't to Alley Cat, because that is full of dust and wheels, and yeah, it's pretty
I think
crowded in there.
of the like, so to describe it physically for people who have not been here or are just listening, there is a ceramic studio with like wheels for throwing on the wheel and like space to build. Then there's just a courtyard with a gate facing the road, and then just another large-ish building. And so it's sort of shaped like a C in a certain way, or a U, depending on what direction you're facing. And then there's a road that goes down towards the neighborhood, and then there's Groovy Greenhouse Studio.
Yeah.
So to me, it's sort of interesting that you not only have almost like this little art neighborhood to yourself, but at the same time, it feels like an extension of your home, because you have made this a space, not only because the people who come here are your friends, but you almost live here because you own it, both of you, and you're inviting people into your home. You say, hey, I'd love to have you over. Let's do a dinner party. Let's do a movie night.
That's so true. Yeah.
And I think that is why I personally feel so drawn to this space, because it feels like it's such an extension of you both.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I definitely do compare it to my house a lot because, yeah, I've got a bunch of animals at my house. And
We spend just as much time at our studios as we do at home. And my studio, I don't know about you, my studio is cleaner than my house.
Yeah.
Because, I don't really have people over at my house anymore. And I meet everyone at the studio. And if you want to see me, you probably have to come to my studio to see me. I'm just always there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I eat most of my meals here. If I could have a bed here, I would. But
you can.
I can.
I know. I've thought about that too. But then we're really
we have partners.
destroying the work-life balance. It's already bad enough.
Yeah. Not to say that I haven't slept on that couch before, but
that is not a sleepable couch.
no.
That is probably half my height in length. Alyssa, actually both of you are kind of like this, but Alyssa specifically the past few weeks has become the cat queen.
Yeah.
The stray cat queen, I suppose.
We're proud. There's a lot of stray cats over here. It's been a problem probably for a while, but you know, I take my silly little walks to go get coffee and treats, and it seems like every time I'm finding a new cat. So I'm not going out looking for the cats. I want to say that first and foremost. I have enough going on without the cats. I see a lot of stray cats that are community cats. I leave them be or say hello to them when I'm on my way, but I've been finding a lot of sick and pregnant and injured and old ones lately.
Shout out Mr. Business.
Mr. Business.
Mr. Business.
85 years old. He was our studio cat, and then I took him home because I just feel like he's too old to be at the studio by himself.
Yeah.
But he was a great studio cat.
And then Alexa, you've said this in a strange way, but the people who come to your studio are also othered in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
I've definitely said that the studio is just like for queer, feral weirdos. So is that what you mean?
Yeah, you're like so like to fit in the theme of like
Respectfully, I love you all so much.
of like adopting what in a lot of ways like would not be super popular in that sort of way.
Yeah. I mean, having an art space, I think that artists aren't like normies, you know? Generally speaking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
everyone at my studio too has anxiety and is socially awkward, and yeah, I feel like that's why we all get along so well.
And we're all just comfortable with each other because everybody's fighting the same battles and experiences, and yeah. Is that the answer you were looking for?
No, I wonder if you feel like, do you think it's like because they see a reflection of themselves in you both, or do you think that you give off a welcoming aura, or like what do you think draws people to you in that way?
I was just talking with a couple members like half an hour ago about this, and that they were saying that usually customers are a reflection of yourself. And I kind of disagreed and said that I feel like the network of people that I've surrounded myself with has started like in the same way a pyramid scheme does.
Without the money part?
Yes, yeah, not the financially, but like in the personality department. I found 6 to 10 people that like initially wanted to be a part of Alley Cat, and then those 6 to 10 people started spreading like, hey, this place is cool. And then it just kept branching out from there. And yeah, now we have like 50 members, and obviously like birds of a feather flock together. So yeah.
Similar feeling from you?
Yes, I feel like I always had a feeling of like not fitting in literally until I started my business, which in turn introduced me to the art community. Obviously I could have become a part of the art community by like taking a class or something like that. I didn't. That wasn't how I entered the art community. It was through starting my business and starting to sell at markets, and through like in-person markets, that's where I started slowly meeting people. That's how I met Alexa. That's how I met a lot of my like best friends now. And so yeah, I don't know, something about the art community here in Indy. I feel like I finally found my people. It's amazing to not feel like, oh, I don't have any friends who really get me or understand me. Like I don't feel like that anymore.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like I don't know. I talk to a lot of artists, and they all have varied emotions about Indianapolis as a city in regard to like the way the city itself supports artists. Do you have? Oh.
I don't think the city itself does a good enough job supporting artists, but I think the people in the city do a good job supporting artists.
Mm.
But I think you have to look for it. Whereas like other cities are just like known for it. I feel like Indy should be known for arts, but isn't one of the first things you think of, especially from like an outside perspective, people who don't live here. Because I'm from northern Indiana, I didn't come to Indy very often, but that was never talked about, like the art scene in Indianapolis. And so until I became a part of it and started going to markets and becoming friends with people and our community and then taking classes, like I didn't know that all of these great people even existed. You know, I didn't know that there were all these art studios and all these markets. And so, I mean, it's growing and I think it's becoming more well known, but yeah, I wish the city would do a better job though, more funding for sure.
Amen.
Yeah.
Alexa?
No. No.
I gotta rope you in.
I know. Yeah, I'm trying not to just regurgitate what you said, but I think our community does a great job of supporting us, and that's all I need.
Yeah, I do think the community picks up the slack.
Yeah.
And even like with these cats that I keep adopting, like I am not funding all of that with my own money. I don't make enough money to like take care of all these cats. So all it takes is me posting on my story that I've taken cats and people are literally just like offering to donate money. So I think like I love the Indianapolis community. Like I really do. I think before I started my business, I couldn't wait to leave, and it was all like, I've got to get out of the city. There's nothing cool here. There's no place for me in the city, but that couldn't be further from the truth.
I do want to let you know. So I go to Thieves in Broad Ripple semi-regularly for coffee, not for alcohol. But Gabby, who's the barista there, she is an artist, and I asked her she went to like a conference or something in Lexington, and she was like, yeah, everyone in Lexington was like, oh my God, the Indianapolis art scene is so cool. She said that like she said, I'm from Indianapolis, and they like lit up about it.
That's amazing.
I thought that was cool.
I wonder if it's because it's one of the surrounding states, because I feel like people from the West Coast and the East Coast shit on Indy all the time.
If they know where it's at.
Indiana
Yeah.
as a whole, but yeah, just the Midwest gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. On the topic of the Midwest getting a bad rap, you guys both, I'm really interested to talk to you about this. You guys are both like really outspoken about your personal beliefs, and you take stances through your business on those personal beliefs. You make your beliefs known through your business's page as well as your own personal like pages. And in a lot of cases, the stances you take, I mean, they're popular in my eyes in a lot of cases, but for like the wider society, like might look at you and go like, why are you being this way? Why are you being outspoken about certain topics? Why are you hosting a fuck ice cream social or like Pots for Palestine, or posting about just like certain groups around the city that aren't welcoming of you talking about your beliefs? What drives you to like be that way? I don't know what I mean by that question exactly, but like,
I have so many thoughts on that. Like,
yeah.
But for one, I feel like you're the same way. So I don't have a personal account like, that I use. So my business page is like my personal account. Like
Same.
It is not all going to be stained glass. It's probably not enough stained glass to be honest. It's more cats and just whatever I feel like putting on there. But I think that by doing that and just being outspoken from the start about my beliefs, I have attracted followers who have the same beliefs as I do. So I don't notice like a drop off on followers, or I don't get a lot of negative feedback in my inbox when I'm being vocal about things like this. Now I have had like friends and family be like, well, aren't you worried about, posting that and how it's going to reflect on your business? I don't think it has a negative impact at all. As long as you're being authentic on your page, you're going to attract those kind of people, those kind of customers, followers who have the same beliefs as you. So they're going to be happy when they're not going to be like, I'm going to follow you and not support you and not buy your stuff. And if they do, that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think going back to the business is an extension of yourself. And when we're trying to create this community, we want to make sure that our community knows that we're supporting them, and that we have their backs and that they feel safe and secure being in the space that they're supporting. So
I think it's gotten so important for business owners to voice their opinions on things, like whether you believe this way or that way, because we've seen that power is in money and where you spend your money, and I don't want to spend my money with a business who supports really what I think are negative things and attacks on human rights. And so I appreciate when a small business is vocal about the fact that they believe in the same things that I believe in, because then I feel comfortable spending my money with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree. Shout out to Lick, the ice cream place.
Mm-hmm.
They
Lovely.
have been doing a lot of that type of activism, whether it's one of their employees did 2 days of tips, all went to
Yeah.
a donation of,
Amazing.
it was either Palestine or food bank or something. And
Yeah.
I told somebody, I was I really respect what you're doing. And they're like, oh, that wasn't me, but I'll let them know. And I was like, okay. Because I think that it's hard to know if you're doing the right thing unless someone tells you. Or to know that you're being seen in that way. So anyways, thank you for being the way you are, if that means anything.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Oh, and just an aside, when
That was my leg.
We got someone tooting over here.
when the government reopened, they slipped in some new legislation about banning hemp products.
Saw that, yeah.
So there's a lot of local businesses here, and I went to go talk to one up in Broad Ripple. It's called the Health Club, or THC, haha, about how they're feeling right now. And it's of course they're going to get vocal about this legislation. It's they are being directly affected, and they're good people, and they're creating a community space, and they fostered this sort of healthier mindset about cannabis products or hemp-based products, that type of stuff, or even just existing in space together. So it's important to advocate for yourself in that way,
For sure.
just like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Check the time. Wow, we've been talking. Good job.
We're doing it.
That's all the questions I had written down.
Whoa.
Actually, I have more questions, and you actually already answered one of the questions.
We talked about friend dating.
Oh my God, yes.
didn't even write that
Actually,
down.
I didn't write it down. Okay, I'm glad you brought it up. Alexa, 2 weeks ago, I came over with tacos, and Alexa goes, I like to date my friends. I was like, what are you talking about?
Romance.
And then she explained it to me, and it made more sense immediately. I think I kind of understood it in a way, but having you say it made it very clear. But Alexa, will you please explain to me what it means when you say date your friends?
Yeah, I think that, now I'm trying to think of how to even explain it. It's important to romance and treat your friends well, because I can't even think of what I was going to say. What did
Let me
I say
help
about
try
it?
to formulate. To me, it's sort of this idea that all relationships are reciprocal.
Thank you.
And if one person is not contributing in a way that makes the other person feel loved and accepted, that is sort of a failure of the relationship as a whole. And so this idea of date your friends that says, hey, let's go get dinner, or hey, let's go to Patina and go see the art show, or hey, let's go take a class together at Groovy Greenhouse. There's an activation of the friendship, but when that's not being returned on the other side, then there's a disconnect. and that's where the failure to date happens.
Thank
Is that
you.
a good?
Yes.
I gotcha. I thought you meant more like trial runs for friendships, you know, like before you're all in, like on.
I think that is kind.
partner.
I think that is kind of what she means,
Because
right?
like you don't want to get yourself into a deep friendship with someone who's.
That's
I don't
fair.
know. That's where I thought you were going.
Yeah. I drank a bunch of coffee before this, and then as soon as I have that answer, just empty brain space. Yeah, definitely just putting effort into friendships in a way that, like, I mean, you think about like a relationship, like romantically, and that like you want to not love bomb somebody or like impress them and then not do that in the future, but like it takes that effort to romance and like, I don't know, just treat people in a way that you want to be treated, you know? Bring flowers to random things and just showing up for people. Yeah.
Alexa and I often ask each other, "Do you want a sweet treat?" from Amelia?"
Yeah, exactly.
So that's our way of showing each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was thinking about you.
Yeah, yeah. Just little love notes.
I have texted you twice to get food. Or no, we got breakfast once.
We got
And then
breakfast once,
I
yeah.
brought tacos.
Yeah.
And then you ate one taco and I ate like 6.
Oh my god.
I have a little bird stomach.
It's like a bird. I'm the opposite. So yeah, we don't normally eat our meals together because I'm just like, how's mine?
You should do what I do and just invite Alexa to lunch, have her pay for her own meal, but then eat hers.
Yeah, there you go.
No. She likes to take hers to go and eat it later.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just need to eat a meal before we go.
Yeah,
And that's just
exactly.
like a little snack.
You both have partners
Uh-huh.
of varying degrees. One of you has a boyfriend, one of you has a husband.
Yeah.
Husband.
Yeah, that sounds too formal.
I hate the word husband. I like the word wife because it's like, and I like calling Anna wife a lot, but husband is like, oh, how terrible.
Was this just you trying to figure out how to bring Anna into the conversation again?
Oh.
Wow, that's
For every
toxic.
podcast.
No, so I don't know if I should say this, but like there's a slang term right now called like huzz, but it means hose.
Oh,
But I thought it was slang for husband
Husband, yeah.
because I'm an old man. And I was like, Anna, you should start calling me huzz. And then I came to the realization that that's not what that was. So now I've been trying to figure out an alternative term to husband because again, too formal, too long.
I just like partner.
hubby.
Yeah.
You want to be
No,
hubby?
gross. Yuck.
Not a fan.
All right.
Anna likes to go jokingly. She'd be like, my man. Sorry, back to the original point. But like, in what ways I know for both of you, it's very similar because so much of your life is intertwined with your business. But like, how are your partners there for you, like when you need them?
Grant just spent 2 days of driving back and forth to Bloomington for an art market with me. He sits at my booth with me and hangs out. He helps build silly little structures whenever I need them.
Does he give snide remarks when people say things are too expensive?
Oh yeah, well not snide remarks, but I think he's pretty good at responding to things in a way that's like, oh, you should try and do ceramic sometime. Like, see how hard it is, you know? Whenever he invites his friends to things, he tries to upsell them and make them pay more
really
than
good
the
at
actual
that.
price of it.
He's really good at that.
Yeah.
Like on your stuff?
Yeah, he's like, oh, this bowl is 50. For you, it's 55. Yeah.
She did like a pay what you can, and his friends showed up, and he was definitely upselling them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. And then Alyssa, how is your husband like?
His role in like my business has changed since the beginning. I would say he still does a lot of like hands-on stuff. Like he goes to most of my markets with me, helps me set up my booth, helps me do heavy lifting at the studio.
Yeah.
But I think like when I was working at my house, he would be there the night before a market, like helping me patina like the last few steps for stained glass, like the things that I would trust him to do, like polishing and honestly things that I don't want to do. But now it's kind of changed a little bit since I'm at the studio. He still, like I said, helps me with my markets, but it's more like he picks up a lot of slack at home because I don't have a lot of time to cook or clean, and so that's kind of his way of contributing now, which is really nice. Like,
Yeah.
I come home and
Feeding the 6 cats.
Yeah.
I like hearing of the work.
Unpaid labor of
Well,
our
I was
partners.
gonna say the worship of men of their partners.
Yeah.
That's what they should do.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely helps ensure that I have a better work-life balance. If I wasn't with him, I would work even later. I would probably have girl dinner every single night, like cheese and crackers, and and never go to sleep at a good time. Like, I was the biggest night owl until I met him, and he's the opposite. And so, like, slowly over the years, I go to bed earlier and earlier and earlier, but that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not good for anyone to be up till 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been going to bed at like 10:30 because it gets dark so early now.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It hits.
I think I've been going to bed at 9.
Big suggestion. Grant is driving the bus
Grant is driving the bus.
for Small Business Saturday,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
which is half the
talk about
reason,
that.
I think
Yeah.
half the reason we waited so long to do this podcast. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're doing for Small Business Saturday, what it means to have like this small coalition of businesses on 10th Street, and then you guys,
The detour.
the detour, and just like, well, we got to talk about the bus. We'll throw that in the end.
Yeah, and there's another very fun vehicle. Yeah, so we're doing the Dime District Drive, which is a tongue twister if you don't say it fast. The Dime District Drive. And it is 16 small businesses along 10th Street and
16 like storefronts.
Yeah.
And then like all of those storefronts, for the most part, have other small businesses.
businesses.
Business.
Popped up inside. So yeah.
But yeah, so
all on Small Business Saturday? Like they already have businesses inside, or they're?
No, like I'll have glass artists popped up inside of my studio.
Oh.
She'll be selling other. I'll let you talk about your studio, but
yeah, so Patina is going to be hosting an ornament show. There are over 50 artists that will be displaying their work, and then Alley Cat will have a mug market, mainly with members, a couple invited artists as well. And then in addition to all that, all of the other businesses will have things going on inside of them too. So not only their business, but like, I think Cat Head Press is hosting another artist, Dummy, which is a clothing brand. Guide and Anchor is doing a couple different things.
yeah. So every business has some type of like special deal running, or an activation, or a pop up, or something fun and exciting going on. And the idea is that you will shuttle from stop to stop. There's, like I said, like 16 stops. But if you go to 5 of them, you get stamps. So just by like showing up to a small business, you're gonna get a stamp. And then there's an after party at Holy Ground with a DJ and dancing and drinks. And that's where you collect your prizes if you collect 5 stamps.
So it's not like a ticket to get in. It's like a bonus.
Anyone can go,
Okay.
yeah. But if you get your 5 stamps, you do have to show up to the after party to collect your bag. You can then just turn around and leave if you want, but I don't think you will when you show up and hear the music and see everyone dancing.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna let Alexa talk about the shuttles though, because we have exciting shuttles to take you from stop to stop.
Yeah, so the van that I have is a like passenger bus. Grant will be driving it. And then we're also going to have the chicken limo.
Which is exactly, if you're not
yes.
familiar with the chicken
I'm
limo,
not familiar
it is
with it.
exactly what you're picturing.
I've seen a picture of the chicken limo. I've never seen it in person.
Yeah.
It is-
Well,
It's a limo with a
you-
giant chicken head
You can
on it.
ride inside of it on Saturday,
For free.
November 29th, for free.
What's the name of the person who drives the chicken limo?
I could not tell you.
You just know.
I should know that.
But that is the same person who's DJing.
Yeah, he's
correct?
a DJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that.
He's a-
He's
All
gonna
I-
be DJing.
That's a dope
party,
like,
yeah.
that's a dope like combo
Crossover.
person. You're like, I drive the chicken limo and I rave.
Yeah, yeah.
What does it mean to be able, an extension of that question, like, what is it like to like get together with other businesses in that way to like formulate this
We're in cahoots.
Thank
We're in
you.
cahoots.
That's great.
No, it's great. I feel like we all can just like get together and be candid about like the state of things, and it's like a little club being a small business. Yeah, just being vulnerable with each other and celebrating your successes, and the small businesses that I feel like we've aligned ourselves with have also just like, they have such fun ideas too. Like the chicken limo was not our idea. But the fact that other people are like, what if? I really appreciate.
Yeah. For this. That was SJ from Guide and Care who
Yeah.
suggested.
I've
Yeah.
heard that I need to like meet them because I've heard that Guide and Anchor are just like,
They know how to party.
they're crazy in a good way.
Yeah, they're
It's
so
like,
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Their
They-
brains work in different ways than the rest of us.
Yeah.
They're using
Absolutely.
their space for a lot of cool things too. I think it started out as just a retail area that they didn't have open super often. Because I think with retail, you're just relying on people kind of stopping in, which doesn't happen a lot, I would say, with a lot of businesses on the Near East Side. But yeah, so they started like throwing events to get people in, and now they use it as like a space to have like little
Raves,
raves.
yeah.
So they have DJs and dance parties on the weekends, which I think is so cool.
Yeah. And they've probably designed a lot of the third spaces that
I know they did Daisy Bar,
Yeah,
and I know
Daisy
they
Bar.
did Kismetic. Those are the two I know off the top of my
Natural
head.
State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
They're
cool
really
stuff.
cool people.
Let's move on to the canned questions.
Oh boy.
The canned
question.
questions. I call them canned questions. These are the questions
okay.
I got in the can. They're locked and loaded. The first question. Oh, wait, I have a sponsor. Third Space Indy is sponsored by City Rising. Mark Lotta has decided to sponsor the podcast. Shout out to Mark Lotta. City Rising is a social impact studio that leads and supports innovative projects that strengthen, celebrate, and repair people and places. So if you're a people, or you're a leader of an organization, or you're just a person who's interested in improving their lived environment, their community, or the space that surrounds you, reach out to me or reach out to cityrising.org and learn more. That's me. Yeah. Oh, but Mark sponsored a question, which is,
Oh boy.
what is a third space to you?
Like a specific one that I go to?
I like to think of this question a little more ethereally, where it's like,
Like the definition?
What is a third space? What is it to me? It could also be a place, but
It is weird having a third space that's my business, but I feel like it really is.
Doubles, that's your third space.
Yeah, I have my studio, which I consider like my office, and then I can just like walk down the street to the main studio, and there are just all these people laughing and hanging out and not even really doing ceramics half the time, and common theme. But yeah, I would say I do consider my space as my third space. Yeah.
That kind of, I feel like that ties
Copycat.
into, in my former life, when I went to college for something that I'm not using now, we learned a lot about the difference between leisure and work, because I studied to be a recreational therapist, so we talked a lot about that. And my professor really drove home the point that your hobby is no longer considered leisure if you monetize it. It becomes your work. And I just have to disagree with that. Like, I have other hobbies that I like to do, but stained glass is like my one true love, and in terms of my hobbies, and I still enjoy it even though I make money off of it. That's what I like to do for fun. I feel like you have projects that you work on that are like customs and for markets, and then you have like silly little projects that you work on just for yourself too. So I do think that your business can be a third space.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm backing it up.
Yeah.
I think you are, Alexa is fortunate. I don't know that you have the same fortune, which is that your workspace is in the back here, which is sort of removing you from your business in a way. So you can still sort of have that. This is my own sort of formula. I have crazy calculus in my head about this stuff. So like what you described of separating yourself from your workspace and then walking over and seeing the people you consider friends.
Yeah.
It is a sort of third space mentality, whereas you don't have that separation. I wonder if there's like something to that, but it doesn't sound like it affects you in any type of way.
No, I think it's different when I have, when I'm there by myself versus when I'm using the space to teach a class or other members are there. And that's not to say I'm not having fun, but maybe when I'm there by myself, it's more of a third space to me.
You're like more locked in when you're teaching a class. You like, thank you for answering. Next question, very related, and I'd love to hear both of you answer this question. What is a third space or place that used to exist for you, but no longer does?
I've been thinking about this one because I listened to the podcast.
I know you did.
Should listen.
There's a lot. I'm going to have like a series of cheaters actually who just all listen to the podcast. Actually, it's actually becoming more of a problem. But
Gosh
that's okay.
darn it. Okay, I'll go first and you can think.
Yeah.
My first concept of a third space is called the oil wick. And that was
Oil wick?
the oil wick.
O-I-L.
OILWICK. It was my very first studio, and it was when I was working another job. And it's how I based a lot of like how I operate now. But it was this beautiful DIY art space and gallery. And there were painters and illustrators and other ceramic artists. And it was in this rundown construction or contract office. The owners didn't care what we did with the building. It was so beautiful, and we painted it chrome. It was a chrome painted building.
That's crazy.
It was wild. But yeah, the oil wick was my first love of finding community, like outside of school and work. And
Do you think you would have what you have now without that?
no, I don't. I truly don't think. I rented studio space out of this studio while I was still in college because I was like, I cannot not do ceramics after I graduate. Like, that's not going to be me. So yeah, I truly think that everything has just built off of that.
Alyssa?
You.
That was a beautiful answer.
Thank you.
I feel like I don't have one in mind that was a third space before to me, but no longer exists.
Well, you could also think of it as like, not necessarily doesn't exist, but like it's not a third space for you anymore. Like maybe it's a coffee shop you used to go to, or maybe it's like if you were like a church kid or something. I don't know.
Does it have to be a place? I guess a third space is. Does community have to be involved for it to be a third space? I don't remember.
Do you want the definition?
I've heard you say the definition, but now I'm blanking on all of the parameters.
Don't think of it too steeply or too strictly.
Okay.
But it's like home, work, whatever outside of those two places that you feel like you can exist. Now, I would argue that community is key to that. But I think the way community manifests for different people is different.
The only one that comes to mind does not involve community, so I'm sorry. And it's also maybe breaking the rules because it was technically home. But I grew up on like a huge farm, and so we had like 100 acres. And
Grew up in the 100-acre woods.
yeah, basically. So there wasn't 100 acres of woods, but there were woods on the property, and they were like pretty far back from the house, and I would just go run the property and like just play with my I was with my siblings a lot of times. Sometimes I was by myself and I was like brooding, emotional teenager. But that's where I felt at peace, I guess, like outside of my home and outside of school, and was out on our property in the woods.
Are you familiar with the Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice movie?
Yes, I haven't seen it in a long time.
There's a scene at the very end where she thinks Mr. Darcy like hates her, and she's like walking through like the mist or something. My wife will know exactly what I'm talking about because it's so funny. She's like walking through the mist, and like Mr. Darcy walks out of like this early dewy morning with like his shirt unbuttoned. It's like
Steamy.
I think the scene is hilarious, but you saying brooding made me think of like Keira Knightley just like walking alone in the like the misty morning in like a field.
Yeah,
like,
well, when you're like a teenager and everything is just like so dramatic, and
It's like
you're
very
like
Twilight or something.
you have like a bad day at school, and so I'd go sit at this tree on a hill, and I just like almost like I thought I was being filmed by or something, but I was really just by myself.
Did you have like a rope swing? I remember or I just like picture you on a rope swing.
We did it.
Head,
Swooped bangs.
your head is dangling.
There was a creek, they just stand and look longingly at.
That's so funny.
One time I did get lost out in the woods though, and it was getting dark and my phone died because I was a teenager at that point, and that was pretty scary.
100 acres, 100 acres, not a small amount. I will say that is a perfect example of a third space.
Okay.
I don't feel like you. I think I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. I think sometimes we worry too much, and by we I mean me, worry too much about we put things in a box and we define things in such certain strict parameters and focus too heavily on like what things mean versus like what they mean to individuals.
Sure.
And the way like important times in your past manifest in who you are now, I think often can guide what a third space like in essence is. Is that?
Yes, thank you for the validation.
Yeah.
The answer was not wrong.
No wrong answers, just funny or good ones. I dream of somebody telling me their third space is the chicken limo.
Maybe it will be Small Business Saturday.
Every previous guest asks a question of the next guest. My previous guest was my wife.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Anna Darling.
Shout out.
She had two questions. She seized her wifely powers and asked two questions.
Okay.
The first question, what is your favorite Asian food in Indianapolis? Alexa.
Yeah. Mama's Korean barbecue. So good. It's on Pendleton Pike. It's just like a big grill, and they just bring you so many plates of uncooked meats and toppings and kimchi, and then you cook it and eat it, and it's great.
I will be going.
That sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
I
so
looked up
good.
photos. I'm locked in.
Yeah. It's
Do
really
you have an answer?
Yeah, but I don't know if this is basic or not, but not like the place is basic, but maybe this would be a lot of people's answer. But
Panda Express.
no, not that basic. Asian snack in the Saraga on the northwest side of town.
Oh, I've only gone to Saraga once.
Okay,
And my
well,
mind melted. I was like, this place is sick.
Yeah.
I feel like because there's multiple Saragas and each one has like a different restaurant in it. So this one in particular has a place called Asian Snack, and that is what I think is the best.
Which Saraga is that?
It's like northwest of Indy.
What type of food do you get there? Is it like street food?
They have like a little bit of everything. Last time I went, I got a soup, though. That was really good. Yeah.
Soup
That's
season.
okay. I'll eat anything.
I
am. No, seriously. Have you ever eaten crickets?
No, well, I was in Thailand and had the opportunity, but did not.
I mess with crickets. I mess with
Like you'd eat crickets regularly? You'd go out and buy crickets to
Actually,
eat?
this is maybe my hottest take that I think people cannot get behind is that insects are an underutilized food source.
I've heard that they're in a lot of things, but I don't think I want to know it.
I think that we have this abundant source of food, and our current food supply needs help so we can live. And I think that it's a cultural thing. Like if people ate insects like regularly, it would just like seem normal.
Well, yeah, because they do in other cultures.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I am weirdly, I don't like certain textures, so
Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cool with bugs, but I won't.
I don't even like raw onion.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I think raw onion is like weird, even though I would eat an onion like an apple.
that's crazy.
Or I used to. I don't know if my stomach can handle it anymore.
What kind of
I'm an old
onion?
man.
Yellow, red, white? Any of them?
Like
And at a time in my life, I could have ripped any onion on the earth.
the red ones can be super spicy raw, so.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering. Asian snack and what's it? Mama's?
Mama's.
Just Mama's?
And Mama's Korean barbecue, I think.
Korean. Okay.
Pendleton
Cool.
Pike.
We'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll probably invite you.
that'd be great.
The next question is, this is a harder question. I think
boy.
you spent time thinking about it.
I did not, actually.
Oh, okay.
I forgot.
Why did she get the
Because I
Because
listened
she
to the
listens
podcast.
to the podcast.
Oh, so you've heard the question.
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw the clips.
How's Indianapolis changed or evolved over the past 10 years? And then by extension, do you think it will change and evolve in the next 10 years?
It's such an interesting question because thinking about 10 years ago, I was graduating from college. So I feel like my perspective of Indianapolis has changed as I've gotten older. Yeah, from 20 to 30. That's a
like
big.
pay attention? Like, would you say like 10 years ago? You're 30 now, right?
I'm 30.
We're all 30.
Yeah,
We're so
wild.
old.
She just turned 31.
You're allowed to curse.
Yeah.
Dang, that was harsh.
Got grandma over here.
I'm happy to be in my 30s. I'm thriving.
It might be
31
hard to
then.
answer because I feel like when I was 20, like I was not even paying attention to like
Right,
what
exactly.
it means for a place to be, if that makes like right now I think a lot about Indianapolis as a whole because of the position I am, because I'm more interested in politics, because I am just also just like annoying and interested in everything that's going on. So it might be hard to answer, but maybe just for yourself, like how has it evolved for you then?
I think so I was 20, couldn't even drink yet. I was very much like opportunistic, I guess. Like I would throw myself at every single thing that I could just to like get my name out there. And in that process, I feel like I learned about so much of the art scene in that time. Obviously, like developers have come in and really changed a lot of what Indianapolis looks like now. I think it used to be a lot like crunchier and like more DIY, and it's had like its little like roller coaster ebbs and flows. But yeah, I think that it's kind of gotten more technologically advanced and in some ways less colorful, in other ways more colorful. Fountain Square is totally different now. Yeah.
Alyssa, do you have an answer?
Yeah, so along the same lines, I feel like my perspective has changed of the city more than anything in the last 10 years. And I mean, 10 years ago, I wasn't even in Indianapolis quite yet. I graduated from IU Bloomington. So I went from Northern Indiana to Bloomington, then moved to Indy.
Yeah.
So, no, I feel like my perspective of the city has changed, so it's hard to know how much the city itself has changed in 10 years. But if I look at it more on like a small scale, like just talking about the new east side maybe, or even just this block, like what we're sitting in right now was abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
My building was abandoned, and they were for quite a while, I think decades. And so just in like the last how many years ago did you open Alley Cat?
4.
4 years ago. Okay, so within the last 4 years, Alexa opened Alley Cat and then started expanding into this building. And then I feel like the main reason why I moved into that space is because Alexa was already here. I don't know if I would have been brave enough to take the leap on this space if there wasn't someone else already over here. And now there's a coffee roaster, Indy Loves Coffee, in the back. So just like to see just how this little tiny slice of the city has evolved just in the last few years, I think is amazing.
Let's go. Any ideas or visions of the future? Or dreams?
Something with the women's prison has to
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
Something cool.
They're on
Yeah.
the list
Yes.
of people to
Because
talk
it's
to.
so close to us. So I would love to see something cool go in there. I've heard ideas of like artist space and retail and restaurants, and I think that would be awesome.
Grocery store.
Yeah, grocery store, affordable housing, anything is better than just a big abandoned building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something across the lot would be nice. There used to be a gas station across the lot.
There's some nice empty space over there.
Yeah.
Can be used for a
Yeah.
lot. They're putting in new power poles. I noticed.
They had talks of doing like a shipping container beer garden because it's really
That
hard
doesn't
to.
even sound that bad.
No,
That sounds kind of cool,
yeah.
actually.
It sounds really
But
cool.
Yeah.
now the lot is up for sale again. I think some of the neighbors were not excited about it.
Get
so.
me in there.
Yeah.
Recording studio.
We
Yeah.
have an idea for it before it becomes. I mean, we could use parking over here,
Yeah.
but before it becomes a parking lot, you want to snatch
Everyone
that
wants
up.
parking, but no one wants the parking lot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all the questions I have. I think. That's it.
Minimal giggling.
We did it.
There's always one last question, though. What question would you like to ask the next guest on Third Space Indy?
What was the last activity that you tried and like put yourself out of your comfort zone? Has that one been asked before?
Good question.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I feel like mine was the exact same.
Wow.
That's all I was thinking was like, what?
We can ask one question. You can be of one mind.
You can say it together.
It
No,
can be
just
from
kidding.
both of you. What?
Let's say it together.
Yeah.
We're gonna see.
On 3. Just kidding. Tell people where they can find you, and we'll wrap up the podcast.
Alley Cat Ceramics on Instagram, Facebook, website. Don't email me.
Yeah, that's true. Do not email her.
Don't email me.
I tried. It didn't work. I had to walk up to her at Monument Circle to say hello, to introduce myself.
Yeah.
That's how we met. Where do we find you?
Groovy Greenhouse Studio on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok too, I think.
Oh.
I occasionally use TikTok. Or the best way to find me is at my studio at 2131 East Michigan Street.
Just walk up to her back door,
Please.
stick your...
Please only come in during our open studio hours. If you come in outside of that, I will probably
Hide in the back office.
hide in the back. Pretend to not be home.
Thank you so much for listening or watching to this episode of Third Space Indy. You can find me at Third Space Indy on Instagram, TikTok, or go to Third Space Indy. I have TikTok. I post one clip a week. It's not that hard. Go to thirdspaceindy.com where I write a blog that releases every Monday. You can give me your email if you want, and I'll send it to you. Yay! Third Space Indy is sponsored by cityrising.org. Thank you, Mark Lotta and City Rising, for giving me money. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
And thank you, as always, to the local artist Jennison for giving me your song to play as my intro music. That song is named Scared Rabbit. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye. Say bye, Grant.
You are the first Third Space Live Studio audience.
Yeah.